just before the sunrise in the food forest this morning, and the soil is nice and wet. Had a bit of rain last night when we were at kickboxing. It's actually quite deep, you can see there. So just the night before, I said to Cornel's son, we were driving together, also back from our exercise, our kickboxing last night was the kids. Said to him, what his corn now needs is just one last bit of good rain. So it looks like his corn got one last bit of good rain, just to push it through to the end. And so, obviously it would be nice for some more rain to fall, but some follow-up rain, but this time of the year, our raining season is actually supposed to be over. Now, this wasn't running on the ground kind of rain, it was just soft, nice soft rain enough to wet the grass and to wet everything and to increase the moisture level. So the water you see on the grass now isn't from the rain, it's from all the moisture that was on the air, in the air, that condensed. Yeah. Gail and I quickly brought a bag of food. Yesterday we brought just enough to keep the chickens through the night, so we were running out of time, and so we just brought this bag of food. And so Cornel opened this space here, and now we'll have to start putting up a run for the chickens over here, and then that space is now locked or closed up for storeroom for him. Check how big the chickies are getting. The chickens, the water must be on the platforms again, Ims. Clean the water and then put it on the platforms again. I see Sonnenberg didn't do that. Then we must teach him how to do that. Let me show you Cornel's storeroom in the making it. I wonder, I didn't see a video from him recently, so I'll have to start vlogging for him as well. So he's closing up this part here, turning this into a storeroom and some shelves that he's placing here. This is going to be probably a lot like what Emmanuel's shelves are going to look like, and we'll put some boards on that. It's probably one of the cheaper ways to do this. Okay, so I've got a nice surprise. Frank Realtor from one of my YouTube subscribers. Let me turn the camera around.
Hello.
Frank, I'm so happy you are here.
Nice to meet you, Danu.
We started the tour, and then I said to him we should definitely do this on camera because he's got very interesting questions. You were saying before I started recording, you were talking about the botanical garden in Windhoek.
Yes, so I visited the botanical garden on Monday, and there are so important information for me.
No swales.
So yes, there are no swales, and they put it a dam, but the dam was really down on the botanical garden.
Okay.
So they have a lot of flooding.
So silt and things like that, probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I told with them, and maybe she put it some swales on the.
Can you perhaps remember the name of the guide? It's not Diane, the lady that I interviewed at the expo.
No.
Not the same person. Because I interviewed a lady there, and then we had a discussion about the prickly pears and the lucina.
Yeah.
Afterwards, after the interview. Just some interesting facts. Let me show you the lucina quickly. We're done in the river, right? We can walk back and maybe I can show you the top structure.
Yeah.
So the lucina over here, this is one of my favorite trees, and then she said this is one of the big invasives, so one of the big enemies that they have. We call it wonderboom, which means, like, I'm sure you understand that it's like a miracle tree.
A medical?
Miracle, like a wunder.
Okay.
A wunder,
Wunder,
yeah, wunder tree.
It's very German.
Yeah, and yeah, Wunder in German and then Wunder in Afrikaans. But this with one tree you can feed 10 sheep for a day later on, and they grow. If you cut them, it will grow back maybe 3 or 4 meters in 1 year. So it gives like a whole truckload full of food every year. Okay. So we started planting them along the swells.
Yeah.
But the reason why they believe it's very invasive is because it makes like thousands of seeds every year. And
okay.
Yeah, so they believe the botanical people believe it's a big problem.
Yeah.
I've never seen outside of town where it became a problem. Only in town where nothing can eat them.
Yeah.
But if you plant it here, where there's a rabbit or whatever, everything.
So it's under control.
It's very tasty, you know. But if you can try it. It's very, very, very tasty. Try this. This is a tasty part.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's a very, very tasty tree even for humans, but for animals this is like sweets. And it's got a lot of protein in.
It's very good.
Yeah. Some people in some countries they cook the pods and the young seed pods like you would cook beans. It really is a miracle tree. In Australia they started a society. They're also scared that it became invasive. So they started a society, and then the people control it. They put it in hedges for the cows, and they take the cows off 30% sooner than what they. So normally if you would have, say, a cow for 300 days on your land before you take it, you harvest it. Now you can have it for 200 days on your land.
So I can put it in the salad, maybe.
Yes, yeah, especially the pods. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But that's it. Anyway, okay. So I should actually have a different cameraman. It's a two-hand job.
Okay.
So this is our campsite. This dam, the kids and I started. We wanted to buy like one of those plastic ones. Okay. I don't know if you've seen the story, but about a year ago, maybe more, 2.5 years ago now, the December, we thought about buying one of those plastic swimming tubs, and we realized that's 35 bags of cement. The price is the same as 30 bags. And so we put an ad on Facebook or a post on Facebook and on all the WhatsApp groups for the town and said, any rubbish that you have, we'll come and take it. So in here, in the bottom, in the slab, there's wires and there's old car springs and things like that, steel to make it stronger. All the bricks are recycled. And we built this whole thing from the day we started until the day we started swimming was 7 days. So it was still wet when we filled it up, and the kids had these rashes all over their skins because the cement was still wet. It wasn't ready for swimming, but we couldn't wait.
So cool.
Yeah. So and then in the bottom, when we finished, we put all the kids' feet on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah. So one day they will know. It is a bit dirty now. We'll probably open it. Then we bend that pipe. We bend this pipe like this. And we put a rock here, and then we build like a little wall with a shovel, and then it goes. The water goes into two.
Okay.
Well, into those African smiles there, and then into those African smiles on that side as well. And this is Orion. He belongs to a lady that has some horses here. I just pick it up. Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So
it's
Damien's
green.
Yeah, you come at the right spot. If you come 2 months from now, then you'll see it's very, very dry. But yeah, we are very grateful. Where are you going after this? Are you traveling to the Tesha and other spaces?
So no, the next plan is go to Grootfontein.
Okay.
In this area, and then back in the south.
Okay.
And so I will start a permaculture project in Namibia too.
Oh really?
So that's the reason why I come to Namibia. and maybe so I look some of the areas in Namibia.
Where do you think about?
I think more in the south. So I think I need 300, 400 millimeter rainfall.
Yes. Let me put the mic on quickly. I just received my mic. Hold on. Sorry, man. Okay, so I'm back. You were saying what kind of rain do you need? And
so I need maybe 300, 400 milliliters rain in the year.
yeah.
So per square meter.
Okay.
And then the plan is to build small seas to storage the water on the land. And yes, so maybe
Is that just for yourself or?
No, it's for the nature. So I will start a big project. So for me, it's important to make a
To fix
a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
the idea.
the important thing for me.
Yeah. Let me just fix this mic again. So now we can talk about the editing. So the video gets recorded like this.
Yeah.
Then I have a program called KineMaster, and then I upload it directly to the cloud.
Okay.
Or to YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's all the editing I do.
Okay.
The big problem is because it's like every day.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to just the transfer from my phone to the computer and from my computer to the cloud, etc.
It's too much work.
It will take maybe 2 or 3 days before things get loaded. So very often, if I can't find my microphone, it's just like this.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a bit more time, I can go find the microphone. I can do a bit more
Yeah.
quality video. If I have a bit more time during the night, it also depends on how busy my family is, etc.
But I think that quality is very fine.
Yeah, it's good enough. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think one of the things people like as well. Thank you, Moremi. It's just this little thing that I need. One of the things that people like is the fact that there's, it's not that much edited and etc. Moremi, I'm also going to leave this mug here. You can do that. I think the camera and the coffee and everything is just too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so Damien is named after one of the first people that subscribed on my Buy Me a Coffee. So Damien got the forest named after him. So I'm very, very grateful. Back then it was like a miracle, people subscribing on Buy Me a Coffee. I never thought it would be possible, and now I have so many supporters. It's just humbling experience. It's
so I think when you can see it by Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
So the supporters.
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah, I have many now. It's really. I just need to make it bigger. Let me pause the camera again, sorry.
I will remove or I don't like to
be a competition.
Yes, it's not good to have a competition. So I will go to the big companies in Germany.
Okay.
And they have to give me the money for
support for your project.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm actually very peaceful about competition. Cornell on that side just started his project as well. There's one guy in Grootfontein that started the project as well. And I supported them, and then many of my people go and support them as well. And I'm very peaceful and happy about it. I think our mission is to spread permaculture into the world, obviously.
Yes.
So that the more people that do it, and if they need YouTube to support it, then the more the merrier. I'm very happy about it. Yeah, I'm not scared of competition. At the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to have some farm products like this is now a batch of biochar that we're charging with duck poop and things like that. But for instance, we'd like to make this more commercial, have worms and things like that. Worm tea that you infuse and you sell that.
Yeah.
Then I don't need the Buy Me a Coffee.
Okay.
Things like that, or we sell earthworms, or we sell beans or pumpkins, or you can see the mint here. The mint is going crazy. all of this is mint. It was just one little stick of thing 3 months ago. Just grew everywhere. It grows like a weed, but you can make a product out of that.
Ah, okay.
And then later on we'll have, like you can see here, the paths are starting. We can do tours. People can come and there can be a table there, for instance. They can sit and have a picnic with the family, and if the swimming pool is cleaner than what it is now, they can swim there and make a fire and cook and make a park out of it. Have some trampolines and the swing and the pigs and animals to walk around. So there's different ways of funding it. The bigger the project comes and the more popular it becomes, I'm sure there will be other streams of revenue.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So yeah, we planted just one piece of mint just down there, and it's actually growing well. Hopefully the mint chases away the termites. We'll see. We'll have to see.
So that's you try it, how it works.
Yeah, because we have many termites here. At the moment, I think they're under control of the ducks. We open the ducks, and they sort of eat the termites. But the whole farm is so filled with termites.
So in Europe, there are the Polza is very famous for permaculture projects. And all of these countries in the world, and they told put the chickens on your farm and the pigs, and you don't have any
pests like termites and things like
termites. Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a big problem with termites there as well? Certain areas.
In Europe?
Yeah.
No.
Not so much.
No.
No.
So that's it's not the big issue.
Big issue, but I'm sure other pests and you've got other challenges again.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got some beans. So this is actually a cow. It's actually a cow pea. It's mostly a fodder bean. You can see the crickets been eating them. I can see if I can find you a nice one to taste. Don't eat that one. I'm sure we'll find some nice ones. Like it's actually a cow fodder. You tasted it anyway. For cattle, but we started canning them and putting making curry beans or peas actually.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, nice and sweet. The pumpkins we planted just before the cold came, just for extra ground cover, but I found Chinese radish now, which is a winter crop which I didn't know we had in Namibia, but I found it last weekend at the Living Earth Expo.
Yes.
Some seeds, so we'll be planting that. It makes big radishes, and then we can feed that to the pigs, and that can cover the ground and sort of have a cover crop for when things get dry. Prickly pear, mulberry. There was a guava there, but the termites. It was actually a very nice guava. Sorry, camera fell over. You can see how the termites got it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It happens. We'll sort of outplant them, I think, in the future. At some stage, there will be more than what they can.
But you think the termites are more or less in the maybe in the last year?
It's difficult to say because we had a very big drought, and in the drought there was nothing for them to eat.
Okay.
We had 2 years of drought, so whenever you put anything on the ground, next day it's eaten. Now there's much more food for them. I think you don't see the effects as much. So mulch like that in the past maybe would have lost 2 weeks. That mulch has been lying there for 2 months now. And but you can in Immo's garden, for instance, we placed mulch within a week. We put 6 bags, full bags of grass. Within a week it's gone. It's just sand. So
that's amazing. Okay, that's okay.
they like if you place anything on the ground, the next day if you pick it up, there's termite activity on it. At the moment it's much better. What we do have now is we have these guys. I just saw one now. Armored crickets. Yeah. They,
It's huge.
it's very big. And the chickens don't eat them. We try to feed them to the pigs. They don't taste nice. And they eat plenty. Some years they become a big pest. They, in fact, sorry, bean stuck in my throat. They become so much that they get stuck on the road and drive over them. Then they come and they eat the other ones. Then the cars drive over them. Then more come, eat the other ones. And then the road becomes slippery from so many.
So I think I see a lot of on the highway.
A lot of?
From
Hiding.
what is the name of the
Armored crickets.
armored crickets?
Armored, yeah. So armor like a tank.
Cricket. I see it on the highway from Windhoek.
Yes.
So there was a lot of the armored cricket.
Yes. Because if you drive over one, then they release a smell, and then the other ones come to eat him. And then they become more and more and more.
Yes, understand.
Then it becomes a slippery problem on the road. They like eating one another.
Okay.
So it's a strange animal. Okay, then what's here? Pumpkins, moringa, papaya over there. Then sunflowers, obviously everywhere. Sunflowers. What else is here that's interesting? There's moringa there. And papaya there. Everything is a bit hidden at the moment. There's also some citrus. Citrus hiding in here. Bean is coming out. Oi, this one has been eaten. Let's see if we can find a worm. Probably a worm on it, but I can't find it. There's a moth that lays eggs on them. Citrus moth. This time of the year. There's one there. There's also a lot of citrus there. Our area is quite good for citrus. And this is a African smile here. It's now hidden in the mulch and everything, but there's some worm compost. So the water runs into it like that. And then that waters that tree, that tree. There is one tree behind there as well. So in theory then this nutrients and water goes into the area.
Yeah.
And waters.
When you did start the African smile?
When?
Yes.
So that was about, I think I've been daily vlogging now for about 6 months.
Okay, then
Yeah.
then I see the video.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how green it is.
Yeah, it was very, very dry. That place is probably the biggest transformation. That was like bare the desert, the friendly forest. Very, 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 very dry. No, man. Oh, okay. I thought this is a mango, Beshy's mango. There is anona. So we planted trees around the anthill to see whether they will have an effect, whether they will grow with the temperature. The ants build this as a chimney, like a air con for them. And if you take like a thermal camera in the winter, you can see this is warmer than everything around it.
Okay.
So Beshy had a theory and he believes the ground is warmer here as well. He believes this will protect them from the frost.
Okay.
So we'll see if that works.
So that's very interesting. The Sepp Holzer, he lives in Austria, more than 1,000 meter, and he installed it on the land stone walls.
Yes.
And yes,
it's protected.
Yes, it's protected. It's give more temperature.
Yeah.
In the night or in the spring or
yes.
Yes.
So the next thing we'll probably do, what I'm thinking about, is maybe build some clay walls on certain sides, just to get the thermal mass up.
Yeah.
I want to find out what the YouTube community thinks about it still, but I think it's something that can work. This thing, we had a oven built into it.
Yeah.
But
yes.
one day they just decided to close it, and they just closed it all up. Yeah.
It's huge.
It's big. Yeah, and the one interesting thing, as you drive now through Namibia, you can see that all of them point north. You see the chimney is leaning. It's difficult to see through the trees.
Yeah.
The chimney is lying to that side.
Okay.
You can check with a compass. All of them exactly north.
Okay,
So,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So as you drive and you see an anthill, check it's got a little point.
Yeah.
Mostly, or it's leaning completely, and all of them lean to the north.
Okay. So in Germany, we would say the direction to the south, and here in Namibia we say it's to the north.
To the north, yeah.
Okay. So on the video you can't see it, but I think it's 3 meters from the height.
Yeah, this is easy, 3 or 4 meters. Yeah.
So
maybe I can give perspective like this, and on the camera, that is the point there, right over there. So you must be close to 1.8.
Yes.
And so that's easy 4 or 5 meters. Yeah.
So in
the
video
you can't see the scale of this.
Huge.
Yeah. Back here we started the worm farm, then we became busy with things. I actually haven't watered it in a while. You can see the things have growing over it, but the compost should be ready. And you can see there's the earthworms. Can you see the earthworms?
Yes, and it's wet.
Yeah, it's still wet, yeah. And so we started in this place with 1,000 worms, but it's now, I think it's ready to harvest and place it into the rest of the project. This is still a bit drier. There's one worm there, but they go where the most food is. It's a bit hard for my hands, but you'll find here close to the edges it will definitely be more softer.
Yeah.
And you can see how many thousands of worms there are in there. So this was a very low effort way of farming worms. We just placed the tarp, put the manure. Currently all of our manure is going to Mikon's garden.
So that's so important. The earthworms, and it's very soft. So
yeah,
normally the ground it's very hard, but here
it's still very, very soft. Yeah.
You can see it in the
video. You can easily dig into it with your hands, and everywhere where you dig there's worms. If you imagine that there was only 1,000 worms that we started with, and now there's probably 200,000 or 300,000 worms in here, I'm sure. There's a small space. The other day we sold 40,000 worms. I'll say the other day, it's probably about a year ago almost. 40,000 worms. And I took them out I brought some students in to count them. And we took them out in a space, yeah, I think about 3/4 of this. All the 40,000 worms.
2/4, so for
like yeah, today for 40,000 worms.
Okay.
And they said there was still plenty of them, yeah. So they multiply fast, especially this time of the year, or in the summer.
Yeah.
People say they double every year, but it's much more than that, because they are two-sexed, both are male and both are female. So they sort of come and join together.
Yeah.
Then they go away, and then each one lays an egg. And then in each egg there's between 3 and 8 worms.
Yeah.
And that happens 2 or 3 times a month.
Okay.
So each worm becomes 8 worms 3 or 4 times a month.
Yeah.
So it's much more than double.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah,
So it's do you have this worm farm? It is one, or you have more?
No, I have many more.
Okay.
Yeah. No, so worms is... So there's one that I didn't show you, that is Alvin Dude's worm drum, that drum system over there.
Yeah.
There's some more worms in there. And then we put water on top, get worm tea at the bottom, and we put that across the land. So this was one of the first structures that we built. Never knew it would fill up, but it filled up a couple of times this year. And also wasn't sealed or anything. The ducks were swimming in it, but there was clay that came in, and then I think the ducks did the rest, and it kept water for a very long time as well. It pushes up quite high, quite high back. And then there's one tree that I didn't show you, a big baobab that will, you know, baobab trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I planted one there. I think that will become a major thing in Damien's forest, is that baobab tree over the next couple of years. We'll see how it does in the cold. It's normally, we have a Boa Bob Belt that comes from Mozambique through Botswana into Namibia, further north. They call it a Boa Bob Belt, like across Africa where baobabs grow. But that's further north. So we'll see. Yeah, I've seen some big ones in town, and so I believe it can grow if we protect it against the frost. But we'll have to see what happens. So this is what you've seen on the videos, is where we dug the African smiles, and absolute, it was just dry, rock hard, nothing growing here.
This is the oh, that's amazing.
The friendly forest, yeah.
Now I see it.
Yeah. So this is an African smile over here. You can walk in.
And this is the African smile from the, I think, last year or beginning of this year?
Yes, yeah. And this is the change that we've seen here. This is elephant grass.
So it's
2 meters.
82 meters.
Yeah. Remember, it starts a little bit lower than what you are as well. In there's horse manure and worm compost and things like that, and they are planned in such a way. So there's a swale coming from the road, the railway over there. And
yes, that's the video from the last year.
Yes.
I remember me on this video. Yes.
Yeah. Then it comes there, and then it goes around that way, and then the water drops out over here. Water drops out over here, and then that sort of runs into the African smile there, that fills up that one. So every single one overflows into the next one. And so we've got 40 mulberry trees here. We've got some other trees as well. I can't remember where they are, but they are in here. But there's 40 mulberry trees, and I'm sure we will never have to water them again. These things filled up a couple of times during the year.
It's just from the rainfall.
Yeah, we did give them water in the beginning, but now you see this, they are planted behind the African smile. So this one filled up 3 or 4 times. So below this mulberry tree now there's about 3,000 liters, let's say, of water in the ground.
Okay.
And that will carry that one until the next rain season. And so, and if that's not enough, then there's another African smile there. And there's another African smile just behind the tree here. This was the best one. We placed some biochar in here as well. I think this is going to be the most fertile one. A very deep one, but we burned some sticks and we made biochar in there.
Yeah.
But you can see how healthy that tree looks there. And so these smiles filled up, all of them filled up a couple of times. So each one of them, let's say, has got 3,000 liters put into the ground in that spot. And so there's a big bank of water that these trees can reach now. This is I wonder what this is. Some fruit tree, I can't remember what it is. But it looks okay, something ate it. And there's already some new growth. So if it survives.
Maybe you can, in Germany I used a picture this app
Yeah.
then you can
Identified like that.
See, yes.
Yeah. I thought about starting to make little plates, especially for the trees that's been given to me by people. So Mikon bought 4 peach trees for me recently. Thinking of saying, okay, this is a you know, Snow White and a Kalkrand cross.
Yeah.
You know, and it was given by Mikon and it's planted at this date. Put like a botanical little plate on everything. Here we cut lots of grass, loads and loads of grass for the horses. But you can see everywhere still peas and peas. And my wife's been putting peas in pots. We planted the peas because we didn't believe that anything will grow. Because the previous year, nothing grew. We had no rain. We had like 220 mils for the previous year. And it was, the rain also came in such a bad way that the grass just grew a little bit. Then the rain stayed away for weeks and everything died. And so this was all just flat and nothing. These are harvesting ants. So they fight loads of pests and things like that. They control disease on your farm and they do many things. But they take grass seeds and they go put it in the burrows. But they also farm, I think they are also, I might be wrong, but I think they farm these aphids on the plants as well.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in general, they are a very good sign. But in drought, they can empty your land. 1 week you still have some grass left. Then you come and you walk through your land and it's just the sticks standing there. They've taken all the soft spots, put it in the burrows. And we don't have such a wide variety of earthworms as other people. Other countries, because we are dry. So the termites and the ants and the things like that, they do the job of the earthworms. You have to find a way to work with them. So that pond pushes up all the way to here. Lucas cleared grass here and he started planting other things, but it's not very effective. Actually, he's inconsistent with the watering. He needs to be more consistent with the watering for him to grow things. But
for what is this bottle?
So when he planted pumpkins, so that he knew where to water, and the bottle is just so the horses don't. Sometimes this horse that jumps in here,
Okay.
and so that we can see it easier as well. And then he knows to water that spot over there. First it was with the trees, but then you can see tree like the sausage tree. You don't need to need a peg to find it anymore. You can find it with your eyes. Yeah, you can see the horse ran over this one. There was no protection on this steel pole. It's completely bent. And so I'm grateful that didn't go into the chest of the horse, because it can go wrong quickly. So in here, we planted some prickly pears. See there?
Yes.
The ones that the Botanical Society is not so grand about. But they're about every meter. I think they survive, but we planted them every 70 centimeters. There's one here as well. If you start looking, if you zoom in a little bit, then you start seeing them more. There's one there. And they will grow into a fence. We also planted some things that bear fruit. They're still in the greenhouse, but with long thorns. So we'll plant them here. As soon as the bushes are rotten away or eaten by the termites, then hopefully we'll have a proper fence with other plants, where the horses will not come through.
Smell?
Yeah. Fancy. There's nothing that we put inside of them. They get a little bit of water from there. And this African smile, for instance, now would water that mulberry there, that sausage tree there, that prickly pear there, and whatever grows around it. There's something on top of me.
Ah. It's huge.
I got the children to collect 100 of them every morning. Had them in these buckets of water, and then my wife became upset because they started smelling bad, and I had no idea what to do with them yet.
So there are a lot of them.
Of the prickly pear.
Yeah.
Oh, of the crickets.
Cricket,
Yeah, they are everywhere. Yeah, took the children maybe half an hour to get 100. They became very good. I should probably still have them collect more. Just want to show the camera the extra prickly pears. Could get the children to collect more. It's probably not a bad idea. But school started, the holidays was over, and it's the day also started later. It was just a month ago. The sun came up almost an hour earlier. Feels like the sun is now coming. The day is becoming late now. If that makes sense. The sun comes up later and later and later.
Yeah.
Every day. I think let's walk through to the back, and then we can do the video again in the river. On 6 hectares, permaculture I think is one of those things where you can go as intensive or extensive as you like. You can spend your whole life farming on a yard of 1,000 squares, and you will always have more work to do.
Yeah.
Or you can you can do the same on 10,000 hectares, and you will always have more work to do. Then on the 10,000 hectares, you'll have more cattle. You'll move them faster. I think we're gonna get our stocks full of things. I think let's walk around. Start from the beginning of the river. So it's as intensive or as little intensive as you want. You can build a swale and you can leave it and it can grow, or you can put, just in this area for instance, you can have something grow up against the fence here. You can maybe put like a vertical garden next to this tree, like buckets or something against it. You can have something grow up against it. You can use the shade to house some chickens down there, or a worm drum. And that's just if you just take like this part.
Yeah.
Or if you have 10,000 hectares, you just leave the tree.
Okay.
And it does what the tree does. It grows and it dies. And so 6 hectares. I always thought it might be too small, but I think I'll be able to work in here my whole life and not run out of work. There will always be something to do.
So it is this the invasion?
No, this is a local one.
This local?
These are some of the invasive ones. Smaller. There's a couple, but this is one of the big ones. It's got a small thorn. So we have got a tree here called the Whitehead tree.
Yeah.
These ones should have been called the Whitehead tree. You see, it's got a little hook on the thorns.
Okay.
And if they grab you, especially when they're small, they grab you on your legs. It's not a fun tree to have. And this is the other one. Sorry, this is another one. So this is this one I still have a use for. You can say this. If you cut it, it can still become a nice tree. You can see there in the back, there's still a couple of them. That's nice. Yeah. This one stays this size, and it gets these thorns. And only a short time of the year they have leaves on them for animals to eat, and they grow very dense. And each year they die back, and then they start again from scratch. And they look like this. So tires and feet and everything. It's a very hard bush. We have a very, very rough forest. Now, one of my friends moved to Australia. Asked him about the snakes and the things there, and he said, you know what, yeah, they have all of the snakes and they have all of this dangerous animals, etc., but the chances of a thorn here doing more damage to you than a snake in Australia is much bigger. You know, they don't have the same kind of thorns that we do. This is a Whitehead tree. It's a native tree. It's got a small berry. It's very bitter. You can try it, but it doesn't taste nice. And you see, this is got a long flat tree. It likes to grow.
It's a little bit dry.
Yeah. It's got leaves and aftertaste. I like chewing things in the bush, but I don't like this. It's one of the nicer growing trees. It's always green. I couldn't find a proper use for it yet. It's not a great fodder tree. It's a good shade tree, I think. They grow easily, especially next to the rivers. So this is the entrance to our land. This is our edge here, next to this fence. Like over there.
Yeah, okay.
And over there. This is actually our fence line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a public road?
A couple of people. Oh, look at this. Zucchini's growing. That's my evil. That's my evil laugh. I threw some garden waste there 2 years ago already, and the cattle came in and killed all the zucchinis that I nurtured the first year. But I think those ones will take. I think they will last. And if you have zucchinis, I've had this dream about zucchinis all throughout the riverbed, and then you can just cut it every time. Every day you can just cut a couple for your sheep. What do you see?
I taste look at the clay.
The clay. Yeah, so the sand is the normal, is what we normally have, like washed soil, like this. But when you dig, you get layers, clay, sand. So there you can see there's some clay.
So it's
this is
a little bit.
This is more actually what I was trying to explain to you. No, not even this. It's a rougher sand than this normally. Coarser sand. This is still soft for some reason, but it's normally almost like building sand that you buy from the shops. But one day I dug a hole. Well, I say I dug a hole. Got somebody to dig a hole, and we went 2 meters. So you get layers of sand, layers of clay, layers of sand, layers of clay, like that. And the clay washes. Well, everything washes in. The soil get washed. It gets separated by the water, the clay and the soil, and they wash in at different times. Yeah, we wanted to build a structure, but we never got around to it. We placed the sticks, and then the water came, and we became busy with other things. But it stopped a lot of water here. It feels like it was almost closer to the side, but I think at the end of the day we just started walking around it more. And this was would have been part of that structure. As I said, we never finished it. This was our big beaver dam analog. Here you can see the thick layers of clay in the river that washed in now. The clay, and then followed by sand there.
Okay. I never see this in Germany.
A dry clay.
Yes.
it's I like if you're a photographer, then you get very nice pictures of this texture.
Yeah.
It gives a very nice, on big flat plains, gives a very nice texture, the cracked clay. But I think our bush is not as friendly as ones in Germany. Like that. This is our first beaver dam analog.
Yeah.
So we place some sticks and then the poles with wires, and then behind that tires. It was much higher. It was like this. The water and the time brought it down, and now you can see there's a lot of things that washed up, sticks that washed into it, and you can see if you open, well, even close to it, it's still wet. You see.
Yeah.
Just by being close, and then
So here it's
definitely still wet below.
very wet, yes.
Definitely, this is all wet. And if you check below the marsh, I mean that's soaking wet still. Okay, I know. Thorns. All of that is still completely wet. So we keep the water back quite a bit.
It's so green.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe if the reason is the tree.
It definitely does have a big effect. But there's a lot of trees in the river. I think it's a compounding thing.
Yeah.
So you have one tree. It's only this is now 1 o'clock. So the tree will have maybe shade on here for an hour.
Yeah.
So the shade starts there, and the shade will go that way. But the long grass does have an effect. You'll see now when we go wherever you're close to any organic matter, it's still wet.
Yeah.
The organic matter on the land, grass or sticks or doesn't matter. Anything that keeps the light and the air out of it makes a hell of a difference. Makes all the difference in the world. The thing is called a quail. When you hunt, when you go hunting, that is your enemy. Because he sees you and he starts making noise, and the antelope are way over there, and they listen to the noise here and they know you are coming.
Okay.
So it's just in English they call them a go-away bird, because if you go hunting, they are the worst things to have. The sunflowers that we just put some seeds down in the grass and it grew. I think we can walk that way. I can show you there. We should open up more land. At some stage we planted loads of corn everywhere. So now every year and there you can actually just yank this one off and feed it to the pigs. But you find pieces of corn. The bird of the corn growing, we had like a big bird feeding operation here. They find all the corn. As soon as they push their heads out, then they get eaten. But so this is our bottom swale.
Okay.
The newest one. This one was made now this year. There's still a hole that we need to fill with organic matter. We started bringing in organic matter, but we still need to fill it up nicely. And then this is all mixtures of birdseed and sunflowers and things like that. Different kinds of what do you call this? Mahangu, a millet. We couldn't find seeds, so we ended up buying these packets of birdseed.
Okay.
And planting that. But even here, this is now in the middle of nowhere on the farm, but you can see the peas.
Right.
Peas and peas and peas. So the dry ones we can actually start harvesting for seed for next year. That will work very well. And then the sunflowers. It's two different kinds. Two different kinds. So this I think is normal sorghum.
Yeah.
And this is something we call mahangu. It's also a millet, but the locals grow it.
Okay.
And then there's another one that grows. That's also very common. Yeah, this is one of the other seeds, bird seeds as well. It looks very much like the millet, but it grows much smaller. It's a much lower one. But there was quite a variety. I'm sure if you spend a bit of time, then you'll find more difference between these different seeds that came up afterwards.
So it's interesting to see how is the progress in the next years.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually scared because in the past I didn't have anybody to look at me.
yeah.
Now I've got the whole world, or it feels like to me, the whole world is watching, and you know what's going to happen. And you hope not to hit your name with a plank, you know, to be a disappointment to the world. It feels like tomorrow everything can collapse, but I'm sure it wouldn't. But there's a bit of pressure. This is our top swell. You can see this is now 3 weeks basically since we had water, and this was also not sealed. This is all clay that washed in, that created this water part here. But careful, you're gonna fall, eh? The clay is sometimes very slippery.
Oh, okay,
It's
very wet here.
Yeah, very wet, yeah. If you come close to it, it infiltrates. You can see here how, here's a good example of how the water goes into the soil profile by the capillary effect. That's probably about 40-50 centimeters higher.
Yeah.
Completely wet, and it's a cliff, you know, it's straight up. So that means that in the swale, the water would go up like that, and it would be close to the swale, top of the swale. When the water enters the soil, it doesn't behave like water in a glass. It behaves differently. It can go up and down and do different things. When it's open like this, it lies flat. But as soon as it enters the soil, then there's many other factors that comes to play.
There are any plans to build it bigger, not bigger, deeper?
They are not decided upon yet. We've been playing with the idea of building like big water harvesting tanks on the ground. But I think if we're going to spend that kind of money, then we maybe drill a well and then we harvest the water from the ground.
Okay.
Then we put the water in the ground with the swells and the African smiles and everything, and then we pump it out with water that you get for the amount of money you spend. Will probably be the best way to spend money, is to drill a well.
Okay.
The second best is open water like this, dam. Third is probably water from a plastic tank.
Okay.
Water from a plastic tank is very expensive.
Yeah.
If we buy water, it takes about 10 years, 7-8 years to get the money back.
Okay.
But if you drill a well and you get water, that's the other thing, is you might drill a well and you might get nothing. But if you drill a well and you get water, then you know it's free water forever. Depending on how strong it is, you can pay back the well in a year or two.
Okay.
Of the amount of money you spend. If you can harvest water in one place, like those African smiles, and you plant a tree there, those are probably the best investment money spent versus water harvesting, because you don't need any electricity to pump it out.
Yeah.
It's harvested right there where you need it.
Oh, okay.
And you spend 80 or 120 Namibian dollars to build that thing. One worker, half a day or a full day.
Yes.
So let's say 200 Namibian dollars, and you never have to water that tree again. Maybe the first year, and then after that, you never have to water that tree again. So if you can do that, then that's best. But if you want to pump water, then a well is better than a dam. It's also more reliable. The dam this one will last maybe another month, then it will be dry. Maybe if you're lucky, another month. I don't think it will. And then it's dry, where a well can go throughout the year. Yeah, you can see how many birds there are. To them.
Yes, it's the perfect place.
They really feel at home. I don't think you can see them on the camera, but there's birds everywhere. Just show you Beshy's dam quickly. So these things, this was another experiment that worked very well. We planted, these are now the real Zaatsgieter. It's a shovel by shovel by shovel deep. First we just made the soil loose and we planted them. And then the birds came and ate everything. And then we ended up digging pits, shovel by shovel by shovel, and it was much deeper, and the birds couldn't, that is washed closed now a little bit. Birds couldn't eat the seed while they were in there. It was the birds didn't like the idea of standing with the butts in the air.
Yeah.
And so all of this millet then came up and did actually really well. This was the first green that then entered the farm before the grass started popping up. These things got up and started growing everywhere. So we've got so much extra biomass now this year. This is something nice. It's a wild cucumber.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's actually edible.
Oh, it's sharp.
Yeah, it's sharp. Yeah, it's. That's one of the reasons why I created the friendly forest, because I grew up on the eastern side of Pretoria and I wasn't used to thorn trees and thorns. But yeah, everything's got thorns. That cucumber will, if you grab that fast, it will really hurt you. You know, if you grab it fast. Yeah. But where I grew up, there wasn't that. So the friendly forest is so my children or their children will one day have a place where there's no thorns. It sounds strange, but you know, all the trees will have no thorns. They will just friendly trees like mulberries and guavas and mangoes and things like that. This seems like it's sunflowers. I haven't been to Beshy's Dam in a while. This is sunflowers.
This one?
Yeah. It must have been planted by us, obviously, but I can't remember planting it. This is all sunflower. So this is cool. So this is where the water enters the land.
Interesting, it's very hot here.
Yes. A big, loads of clay content. It's still an unfinished structure, but wow, this is incredible. I didn't know that we planted these sunflowers here. I haven't been here in a while. So you're actually giving me a tour of our farm. The sunflowers there are a little bit bigger. They're obviously a bit older. And here in the middle they obviously didn't grow because we walked here. Maybe when they were young. Or it became harder. The water ran out of faster. But here on the sides, so the water enters the land over there.
I think on this side and here.
Yeah, so we've got a very strange capturement for our land. Our land actually gets water from 3 different sides. So there's a hill on the side. This is the southern side. The water runs into the land all the way from here, and the water that comes from the road comes in there like this. So we have it falls all the way to the river. Then the river gets water from up to 70 kilometers away, you know, very far. So sometimes we don't have rain, and all of a sudden the river is full, which is grand. And then we have the other catchment is on the other side of the river. It comes from the Dunedainmom side, and that's also a different way. So sometimes it happens that there's water in Damien's forest, then there's nothing here. Or all of this is flooded, then there's no water in the river or in Damien's forest. So it's very strange how our land captures water. I did in the beginning of our land, just where the river enters, there's actually 2 rivers that comes together. And so when I got to be able to select the land, I saw it on a Google map first, and I chose this piece of land because of the rivers. My father was very disappointed in me because I grew up on a hill, very nice sunsets and everything, and then I went and I bought land in the hole. Our land is much colder than town. In the winter it can get 5 degrees colder than what it is in town.
So here is the winter here is
worse than in Otjiwarongo.
It's our summer.
Ah, yes. Yeah, it is. It's true. It's not the same, but for us it's very cold, very cold. But yes, it's your summer definitely. So this swale, broke here, and it releases the water into that dam, but eventually this swale will then connect to Mikon's garden. This is one of the projects that's gonna continue as soon as we run out of other things to do. We'll continue building this swale to Mikon's garden. We've got guys in town now working on Emmanuel's house. So things have slowed down a little bit on town. On the farm. I bought a saw this morning, so tomorrow I can start with Wally's sunroom, and I can start with the stable roofs. We've already started with the stables, removing everything that we don't need, and I still need the inspection there from the municipality to see if my plans, the things that I want to do, whether that will land me in trouble or not. But this is our recycle yard. I called it a scrap yard until the permaculture people corrected me and said it's a recycle center. So they changed the names. But that swale will then continue all the way here, and then we use that water.
I think I see a sort on the Google Earth. This one? Or,
yeah,
okay.
Definitely, yeah, and definitely this. So this is Mikon's garden over here. We're starting with the fencing soon.
Oh, that's very good.
It's still young, still very, very young. Matthias is probably on lunch now, but there's some onions and spinach, and this is okra, onions, spinach, etc.
What is okra?
Okra is like a tropical plant. It's difficult to explain, but it's a vegetable.
What is it? This one?
That's the okra, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then on the side we are building. These are some new beds that we're preparing for the. We have cauliflower in the net house, and so we're preparing those beds for that. And then over here, hopefully this week we'll still build a foundation. There's a water tank that needs to come here. Mm-hmm. This morning I bought some more bricks that should be delivered tomorrow or today still, I hope. Build a platform for a water tank, and then we have some security for the water if the water gets cut off, or anything like that. The other thing that the tank will do is it will allow us to add fertilizer and things like that. This is where we've been placing the stable manure now for the last while. We added some charcoal at the bottom. Actually found some worms. See, there's some worms in here. I don't know who placed the worms in here, but actually quite glad they are here. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get it to 2 meters, but it seems like the more we put, the lower it gets again. We're struggling to get the height, but we're trying to get it to 2 meters, and then we can start turning it to see how fast we can turn it into a nice, useful compost. Okay, and then all of this will still become Mikon's garden. As fast as we can develop it and as fast as we can plant it, we do that. We have Matthias here basically full-time every day, making sure everything is watered, make sure everything is nice and planted, and building new beds and filling out, so it doesn't look like a lot of work. But you see this gully here takes quite a lot of time with a wheelbarrow to close up to make it flat like that. So you want to get all the unevenness out of the land and change it into flatness. And these are all sunflowers that we planted before we knew that we were going to build Mikon's garden here, while we were still just thinking of having some sort of growth, any roots in the ground. That was the idea, that was the plan. And then obviously pumpkins. There's so many pumpkins growing in this area. There's one there, I'm sure if we walk around here we'll find some more. Hello, chitlers.
Hello.
Kids are back from school. So the spider mice and the things started getting into it. So we started cutting away leaves and things like that. There's one lying here. We had so many flowers this year, but we didn't have so many pumpkins. And so I think our pollination wasn't great. My brother-in-law's got a beehive here, but it seems like I will have another. I spoke to the bee farmer. He said at the end of my land, he will put a fence and put 25 beehives there. I'm allergic to bees, but I think it will be okay. They will be fenced and they, so you can't, you know, horse or a child can't knock them over. Some more pumpkins. Yeah. So the corn we never broke the corn down. They just go into the ground where they are. This was a corn patch. Yeah, many moons ago. But so hopefully next year we'll get better pollination. There's still some new pumpkins coming up as well. Like this is still a new one. Something bit it. But there's still some new ones coming along. And then there's bigger ones everywhere as well. And then obviously beans. Here we actually planted many shop beans as well. For some reason we didn't harvest that many. I don't know what happened. But like beans that you buy from the shop. Yeah, so that one will grow into a big pumpkin store.
We are in the winter.
Yeah, it might. So, if the cold comes, then it's finished. And then we harvest and we feed the small ones. Gets fed to the pigs. The ones that's not ready. But in theory, if it was a little bit earlier in the season, then that one can still grow into a big one. We'll see. I actually dropped my pig food now somewhere. The corn that I picked for the pigs. There's prickly pears in here. The variety without thorns. There's some pumpkins growing there. There's a whole line of prickly pears. See here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Growing here. I was thinking of cutting them open, but
look here, big pumpkin.
oh yes, yeah, I've never seen this one before. It's nice, very nice and big. I'm sure if I said to my wife, I'm sure when everything dries up, we'll find pumpkins like here. I've also never seen these. I think there's 3 pumpkins here that I've never. 4 pumpkins, no more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pumpkins here that I've never seen.
Like big business.
There's one here as well. 6 pumpkins here that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when the things dry out, we'll find many more that we haven't seen before. But the nice thing is they will grow and then they will cut themselves off and then they can last in the bush for quite some time. So it's not like, you know, we're neglecting them or anything by not looking at them. They will be happy. Let's feed this one to the pig. So the corn, the reason why people plant corn on monocropping is because corn actually needs one another to put seeds in here. So if you hold the camera for me quickly. So if you open this one, because it wasn't close to anything, there's a big chance that you're not going to find any seeds in this corn cob. See, it's empty. Actually, no, there's quite a bit. Okay, so I'm wrong in this case, but many of them, if you open them, if they were not planted next to other things, then there's no seeds on them.
Okay.
They grow without seeds. So they need to. Corn needs to sort of rub up against one another in order to be more effective. I think let's feed Buffalo.
That's the new place of the pigs.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before they was near the house.
There, and then before that they were there, and then for about 2 weeks they were at the house while we were fixing this place up. But pigs near a house is not a good idea, especially if there's rain. Come, Buffalo. Buffalo is not interested. Come, Buffalo. Hi. Hello, Fee. How incredibly hectic this day was. Once Frank left, I had to move scaffolding, and then I had to go pick up a jackhammer which the guys broke and had full, and then I took Emmanuel to the people, Michelle, that's sponsoring his solar for the shop. Bigger video on that to come, and then obviously a big reveal on the 9th of May. So it was such a hectic day, but such a wonderful day. My wife's been telling me for a while now that people are just going to show up here one day, and so my wife is a big introvert. I don't know if you guys ever seen that, and so she struggles to speak to people, especially strangers. And she phoned me and said, "Get your asses on the farm, somebody just showed up and I don't know what to do." And so Frank obviously didn't just show up, he's been speaking to me on X and so on, and I just completely forgot to tell her, and I also thought that it was going to be tomorrow, so there was a bit of miscommunication. But it was so wonderful and so nice to have somebody here. And so thank you so much for everybody's support. Thank you so much for making this life possible that I have here, and for helping me help people. It really does mean the world to me. Have a wonderful day.